Tomura Shigaraki is a terrible villain, but here's the thing, what I love about him is his terribleness, because I believe it is completely by design, and that's what makes his arc so fascinating. Now, when I say Tomura is a terrible villain, I mean that not in the sense that he's a bad guy who does terrible things. No, he is terrible in the sense that he's not very good at being a villain. His motivation is awful. None of his plans are particularly well thought out. He wastes countless resources and other lesser villains on vain, useless goals, like trying to kill All Might. His primary motivation is just to destroy stuff because I don't like it. Pro heroes even go as far as labeling him a man-child. This is about as boring and basic as you can get for a villain. But here's why I love him, and why I believe his general awfulness in My Hero Academia is part of Kohi Hirokoshi's master plan for the series. So from here on, we're going to get into manga spoilers, because to fully delve into all the elements for my critical analysis, I need to discuss all the parts of the text at hand. So shoo away if you don't want to learn about what comes later in the series. What Hirokoshi is building is not just Deku's journey to becoming the greatest hero, there's also a parallel narrative that we're seeing coincide with Deku's story, and that's Tomura Shigaraki's arc of becoming the greatest villain. As of right now in the anime, he's basically just a Saturday morning cartoon villain, who just pops in to wreck things. But ultimately, is chased away, promising he'll get them next time. But Tomura is forced to grow and evolve after the introduction of the series' next major villain, the hero killer Stain. Now, what makes Stain a much better villain and a more powerful figure than Tomura is the fact that while on the surface his goal is to just murder every pro hero he can get his hands on, but his motivation is driven by a greater ideology. Stain believes that the hero world has grown complacent and corrupt, with most professional heroes working only out of ego and financial self-interest. In the world of My Hero Academia, the act of heroism has literally been turned into a commodity that can be bought and sold. Pro heroes must worry about their popularity, endorsement deals, and keeping up their sex appeal. It's within all of this that the true value of their original purpose of helping people and saving lives kind of gets lost. Stain seeks to remind the public and return to a world of pure heroism by murdering any hero he deems unworthy, saying that the only one worthy of stopping him is All Might. He even goes as far as saving Deku because he deems him a worthy hero due to his selflessness. Now let's take a step back from the world of My Hero Academia. Think about the villains that really stand out to you, the truly immortal villainous characters who have stood the test of time. It's usually not because they're the baddest or the strongest characters. The most iconic villains become icons because they stand for something. They embody a twisted ideal, a grand thesis they want to prove to the world at any cost. The reason why a character like the Joker has managed to persist through so many years and so many incarnations isn't because of all the various petty crimes he's committed in Gotham. He stands as the ultimate foil against Batman, a figure who thrives in anarchy and chaos. The reason why stories like The Killing Joke and The Dark Knight have managed to persist in the public consciousness is not because the Joker is unbeatable. But in both of these stories, all of his crimes are designed to serve a greater purpose in exposing that sanity and morality are just a facade. The Joker is getting his PhD in anarchy and chaos, and he's using the citizens of Gotham as tools to compose his grand thesis. Every action he takes is to prove that purpose, whether it's driving Commissioner Gordon mad by giving him the ultimate bad day, or forcing the citizens of Gotham to kill each other in a twisted morality play. The Joker believes we're all selfish animals. With a few bullets and explosives, he can bring down the grand farce of civilization. That's why people keep coming back to the character again and again and again. That's why he stood the test of time for 75 years, and will probably be around for 75 more. Tomura doesn't have a grand thesis. He is a child lashing out at things he doesn't like. The one thing he has going for him is a mentor in the shadows. Just like how All Might is crafting Deku into the symbol of peace for tomorrow, Tomura has a sensei looking to forge him into a villain worthy of carrying the rest of My Hero Academia forward. Chapter 69 of My Hero is easily one of my favorite ones in the entire series. Here we have Tomura confront Deku directly in public. He holds him hostage with his disintegration quirk. Also, he can have a little interview. Tomura doesn't quite understand why he didn't get any attention, while Stain the hero killer seems to be getting a tremendous amount of public adoration. Kids want to be him, other villains look to emulate him, and it infuriates Tomura because he sees them as having both done the exact same thing. In Tomura's eyes, both he and Stain just like to destroy shit that pisses them off. So why has Stain become such an icon while Tomura is relegated to obscurity for his acts of villainy? Deku cuts to the heart of the matter. While he doesn't accept Stain's methods, he can empathize with him and understand him. He can tell that he was fighting for an ideal, something greater than himself, an ideal which he doesn't compromise or give up when faced with adversity. Then everything clicks for Tomura. He sees what he's been doing wrong, that ultimately if he's to become a villain worthy of carrying this series, his actions must be in service to prove something greater. That's his arc for becoming the greatest villain. My Hero Academia is still in infancy with serialized run and Shonen Jump, having not even crossed the 150 chapter threshold. But for me, it's exciting to see the series grow as it's quickly gained steam to becoming a potential successor to the empty thrones left behind by Naruto and Bleach. Much like how Deku is fighting to inherit the legacy of All Might. If My Hero Academia is to inherit the legacy and become a flagship series, the crux of whether or not it will ascend to those heights lies in the long-term arc of Tomura Shigaraki. Much like how we've seen Deku grow and develop, we're still seeing Tomura's villainy remain in its infancy. Just as Deku has struggled to live up to an impossible ideal, Tomura has failed just as badly in terms of living up to the villain legacy, set by All Might's nemesis, All For One. But what I'm hopeful for is that as the series progresses, we'll see Tomura become the villain we deserve, and the one that My Hero Academia needs to go beyond. Thank you for watching this video. This is my first attempt at doing a critical analysis video, so I hope my production values are at least tolerable. If you like what you see, I have plenty more analytical takes on My Hero Academia, and I'd love to share them with you. So just be sure to like and subscribe, since that gives me a sense of self-validation that I require to keep making more stuff. See you around, and leave a post in the comments below.